When I first came to Japan, I experienced a lot of culture shock. And what were the first things you experience when you come to Japan? You'll notice gestures. It's kind of a little weird first thing on the list, I gotta say, but it can help you so much with communicating with people. The first one you'll notice that's very obvious is the come here gesture, like this. Like just come here, come here, come here. Hey, 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 come here, come here. It looks like go away. My first experience with it was when I was an exchange student in high school. I was with my host family and we were going out somewhere. When we went out to the car, my host mom was like this, and I thought she was shooing me away, and I was so confused because I thought we were going somewhere. I'm like, go away, go back inside the house? Is that what you mean? That was definitely my first experience. You'll notice it, and don't be confused, it means come here. Even the famous Lucky Cat, the motion it's doing is this motion. So it's actually telling you to come into the store instead of waving. It's not waving, it's doing this. The obvious one is bowing. Everybody knows bowing. You bow for thanking and saying sorry. Another gesture, it's not the most useful, but it can be, is to show you're angry. You go like this. It's putting the oni or demon horns on your head, and it shows that somebody is angry or you are angry. It's easy. You don't have to remember a word. So these gestures can really helpful for communicating without knowing the language. A gesture that you see everywhere is dame. This means dame, or not allowed, you can't do it. So you'll see this a lot. Sometimes they'll just have a poster with a person doing this, or it's just an X. You can see skateboarding areas that is just no like this over a skateboard. These skateboards not allowed. Pretty clear, pretty simple. So it's pretty useful to understand because some people might do it to you if you're like talking on the phone on the train or something. Another gesture is not as noticeable, but when people give you gifts, they give it with two hands like this. And when you accept it, you gotta take it with your two hands and grab it. So especially like business cards, it's very common for business cards to be given with two hands and you take it with two hands respectfully. A really useful gesture for when you go to Tokyo or Osaka, some really crowded places. You go like this and you bow and you say sumimasen, sumimasen, or excuse me, and you can go through a crowd. It's really useful. I think it's important to know. Another gesture that you often see is no. When you're refusing an offer for something politely, often people go like no, 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 no. It's not that it's smelly and a lot of people farted, it just means no. So another gesture you'll notice that is a little funny because it looks like people are pointing at their nose like you have something on it or their nose is itchy, but it means me. So when you want to talk about yourself, you just point to like your nose, where like maybe in America we point down here, but here they point to their nose. Don't think people are just telling you you have something on your nose all the time. It just means me. So the next culture shock is cash. I experienced this pretty significantly because in America it's a pretty cashless society. There's not a lot of places that you need cash for. You can pretty much do everything by credit card, but that's not the case in Japan. You need lots and lots of cash because pretty much only the main big places like convenience stores, big chain supermarkets, chain restaurants have credit cards. Most of the local stuff, they only accept cash. Maybe some Japanese apps that are getting more popular, but they're just kind of QR code based payments. So they're not quite credit cards. I had to carry around cash with me all the time. So I went to a restaurant in Beppu and we were gonna get the all you can eat. They had the PayPay app. So I didn't get any cash because I'm like, they take the app, so I don't need to get the cash because after that I was just gonna go home. So we ate the food, and when we were going to pay, they said that they don't accept the cashless app for all you can eat. So I didn't have any cash on me, so I had to, luckily I was with my friend and he had cash to pay for my meal and I could just pay him back. But it can be pretty annoying, especially because ATMs charge a fee. Usually only your own bank don't charge a fee, so I often try to avoid paying that fee. Just if I don't have to, I try to avoid it. So you'll definitely notice that in Japan, you just need cash. If you want to go to any local restaurant, any local bar, any local izakaya, take cash or else you probably won't be able to buy it. Something that's often talked about, I think, is the no talking on the phone in trains. Definitely a big culture shock because like I know in the West and like UK and the US, you can definitely talk on the phone on the trains and it's no problem. But here, you can talk to your friends, but you just can't talk on the phone because it's kind of like disturbing the peace. And I have definitely felt that over the years of living here now. If I see somebody talk on the phone on the train, I kind of feel like, oh, why are they talking on the train? That's so rude. I kind of understand, it kind of starts feeling rude to talk on the train. When I first came here, I did do it, and one of the trained employees told me to not do it anymore, and they pointed to the sign that says it's not allowed. At that time, I pretty much knew no Japanese at all. I felt really embarrassed. So number 4 is Japanese people don't eat and drink while walking. Typically, you'll see somebody go to a convenience store and there's a lot of hand food and bottled drinks, so it's really easy to just drink and walk and eat and walk, you would think. But they often buy some food and they stand outside and they just eat standing outside, or they find somewhere to sit and they eat it there. And for drinks, they usually stand in one spot, drink until they're done drinking, and then they put it in their bag and they go on their way. And when they want to drink again, they go off to the side, they stand for a minute and drink. So they often don't do it while walking. I have done it while walking a lot. You'll get a lot of stares if you're just like eating some fried chicken while walking, you know. I get the convenience store fried chicken, just eat it while walking. You definitely get some stares. A really big thing in Japan is service culture. Service is such high quality that when I go home, I kind of feel like I was spoiled in Japan, because even though their wages aren't really any different, they treat you so well and they will help you solve your problems. Usually, something kind of surprising to me is at a small store, when you go buy something, they hand you the bag over the counter, is what you would think. They'll take the bag around the counter, they'll go to the exit of the store and hand you the bag and then bow for like a whole minute until they don't see you anymore. They just go like this, they say arigatou gozaimashita for maybe one whole minute, and it was so shocking to me. I even bought a $5 cake. The lady took the bag, I was about to grab it, and then she took the bag and then went around the counter, handed it to me with 2 hands, bowed for a whole 2 minutes as I walked away. I looked back to check if she was still bowing too, and she was still bowing. It was really funny to me because it was just a $5 piece of cake. So number 6 is convenience stores are truly one of the most magical things here in Japan, because they are everywhere and they have everything you need. If you want some good food at 2 a.m., you go to a convenience store, you can get a decent meal at 2 a.m. It's not the best meal, it's not the healthiest meal, but it's good. What do you expect at 2 a.m.? It's a lot better than when I go back to America, where the convenience stores just have like crappy pizza, crappy hot dogs. They look very sad and like they've been there for days. Here, the food is pretty fresh and tastes pretty good. I sometimes have convenience store bentos when I'm just hungry and kind of lazy. Great thing about convenience stores, they're great. You gotta go to a convenience store when you get here. I know it's a little strange, but you gotta go. Everybody should go to a Japanese convenience store. My final tip, number 7, is the safety in Japan. Japan is a really safe country, and you can end up losing your wallet or your phone, and you can get it back if you lost it on like the train or on the subway. You can often get it back by calling the company, and you can go down to their lost and found and they will just give it to you. And sometimes you can even get it from the police station if you don't know where you lost it. It's not always 100%, but usually you can get your stuff back. And people don't really take things. So if you were to go to a cafe and you had your laptop out, you go to the bathroom, you come back, your laptop's still gonna be there, nobody's gonna touch it, you don't need to ask anybody to watch your stuff. I often go to the beach and I can just leave my stuff at the beach and nobody's gonna touch my bag. So that truly is one of the best things about being here, is just that safety. It was definitely a big culture shock because I was always had this feeling of cautiousness. I kind of let that go after a while, and now maybe if I go back, I'd probably have reverse culture shock from being so used to the safety here. So these are my 7 main culture shocks when I came to Japan. If you have any more questions or comments about the culture shock, let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe button and check out my Dazaifu video.